The following is a Blue Ridge 11 Sports production.
From Hempfield High School, it's PIAA District 3 6A softball quarterfinals this afternoon on Blue Ridge 11 as the 4th-seeded Hempfield Black Knights welcome in the 5th-seeded Warwick Warriors. And a good afternoon to you. Alongside Amanda Herr, I'm Eric May. Thanks for joining us. Amanda, two very familiar foes going at it yet once again. Now the 4th meeting this season between Hempfield and Warwick.
I was going to say, I think it's going to be a really interesting game today. I mean, both teams, you're playing each other a lot throughout the rest of the year and throughout regular season play. But, you know, once you get into districts and everything in postseason, it starts to become to a different level. I mean, both teams have been playing a lot of innings. Both pitchers have thrown a lot of balls. So, you know, both teams are going to have a really good challenge, but I think it's going to be a fun one to watch.
And you know what? Both coaches pretty much say the same thing. It's a matter of execution. Who makes the least amount of errors is the team that's going to come out on top here this afternoon. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for the visiting Warwick Warriors. Really no changes from what we saw on Monday. Kenzie Ellis leading it off, followed by Katie Heisey, Bella Smithson, Madison Minnie. That's a tremendous trio right there. Sam Shack, Emerson Overley, the freshman center fielder, Cece Sanchez, Marley Martin, and Brooklyn Nolt is the designated player. Defensively for Hempfield, their outfield left to right, Trina Beck, Callie Pfeiffer, Dulcie Whitcraft, Chloe Diener at third base, Lily Ashton and Alex Gregory up the middle, Emma McPherson at first, Avery Landis behind the plate catching, and Carly Ernst in the circle for the Black Knights with a record of 11-4. You know, the first pitch of the ball game is over for a strike. Our umpiring crew this afternoon from the mid-pen. Ellis hitting at .338. A little pop-up in the infield, takes a spin toward first, and that's going to be an infield single for Kenzie Ellis to start the ball game.
And up next, number 10, Katie Heisey.
Yeah, Carly really threw that in a good spot. It just jammed her up a little bit, and Ellis has enough speed to beat that out. So, I mean, for both sides, you know, for Hempfield, it's kind of a rough way to start, but for Ellis, it's a great way to really use her wheels and show her speed.
Well, and when you don't get a hard hit ball and it spins like that, you don't know what direction it's going to go, and it worked out for Ellis. Here is Katie Heisey, and the first pitch to Heisey is outside for ball one. Heisey hitting at .333. That's upstairs for ball two. Solid season here for the junior shortstop. That pitch gets the inside corner, 2 balls and a strike. Yeah, and glancing over at our system that we have here, pitches coming in a little about 10 miles an hour faster than what we saw on Monday.
I was going to say, that's a big change. I was thinking the same thing. And right there, that was 56. And that's about what we were seeing the other day as a fastball. That was her changeup.
Yeah.
That was a really great pitch, by the way. An inside changeup, those are like the hardest pitches to hit.
So the count even now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tapper back to the circle. Ernst turns, fires to second, gets the force out there to get the lead runner and pick up the first out.
I was just going to say, too, I think, you know, this time when you're seeing these batters 12, 13 times through now, Carly's going to have to kind of work in that off speed a little bit. Same thing with Kate. I mean, both sides are kind of used to what each pitcher's throwing, and they know what to expect. So if you work in off speed and you're changing speeds and hitting your spots with that, it's going to be really difficult to make those adjustments.
Bella Smithson picked up 4 hits the other night, increased her batting average up to .561. First pitch swinging, shallow right field. Dulcie Whitcraft with the squeeze. And Bella Smithson, as we have seen in previous at-bats, likes to go after that first pitch.
Definitely, and I think for Carly, too, I mean, it looks like that pitch got a little bit over the middle, but it was higher in the zone, and Bella just, you know, got her hands up and got it. But for Hempfield, it really worked out in their favor. That's a big out for sure.
So 2 down in the inning, and it brings up Madison Minnie, and she goes after the first pitch and fouls it back. 0-1. Oh, no. I thought it was a foul ball, and it went off the catcher's mitt.
I think it was a foul ball. It sounded like it hit her helmet, but it hit someone's helmet. I know that.
Oh, look, I got to hit her elbow. Did it hit? Could we see it one more time?
It was either her elbow or the knob of the bat.
I thought if we look at it.
I don't know. It sounded pretty hard like the knob of the bat. They're bringing it back.
Okay, they are saying it is a foul ball.
Especially since she stayed in the box, too. That makes me think that it wasn't her.
Well, at first, I thought maybe it might have hit her elbow, then the catcher's mask. Goes after that one in the dirt and skips away from Landis, and on the play, Katie Haji will take second base. So she's in scoring position with 2 outs. 0-2 on Madison Minnie. That's upstairs, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, Carly seems to be on fire right now. 64.9 is bringing it. So it's a big difference for Warwick from what they saw, in Tuesday's game.
Minnie right now riding a 21-game hitting streak. Back to the circle, gloved nicely by Ernst. She'll flip to first and end the inning. For the Warriors in the first, no runs, a hit, 1 left. Throw a half inning. Warwick nothing. Hempfield coming to bat. Back at Hempfield, here is the Black Knights starting lineup. Something you're not going to see very often. Carly Ernst, the pitcher, leading off, followed by Lily Ashton, Avery Landis, Chloe Diener, Kelly Pfeiffer, who came up with a big home run in a game earlier this season against Warwick. Sydney Weaver's the designated player, followed by Emma McPherson, Dulcie Whitcraft, and then Alex Gregory. Defensively for Warwick, their outfield left to right. Marty Martin, Emerson Overley, and Kenzie Ellis. Cece Sanchez at third. Katie Heisey and Madison Minnie up the middle. Sam Shack at first. Bella Smithson catching. And Kate Shack on the mound. 18-4 with a 1.74 earned run average. 179 strikeouts, 40 walks on the season. And right now sitting at 299 career strikeouts.
I think one of the coolest things about Kate is she's throwing around the 55, 56 range, but her spin is 1,100 to 1,200, which is a lot of spin. So,
ground ball, a high hop, easy play for Madison Minnie, and Ernst is retired for the first out.
But when you look at speed for pitching, right, like Carly Ernst is throwing 65, but her spin rate's around 700, 800. So when it comes in, hard, but if it's flat, it's going to be easier for people to square it up. For Kate, her ball's spinning a little bit more, and it's a little bit slower, but it's hard to kind of adjust to that. You can't really see where it's moving.
And her spin was what?
1,100 to 1,200. That's what she's kind of averaging, and Carly's was a little bit lower than that, but still moving.
Lily Ashton back through the middle. That's a base hit and the first hit of the ball game for the Black Knights. Ashton came into the game hitting at 356, and this brings up Avery Landis. Landis hitting at 532.
And she's actually committed to go to Penn State for rugby. I don't know if you knew that
Wow.
one, but yeah, she's going to be playing rugby in Penn State.
Catcher rugby, I can kind of see it.
Yeah, no, definitely, yeah. But yeah, she's very good at rugby.
She's got a pair of home runs and 12 runs batted in. And this is the first time I've been at the complex, and I step up here and I look at that fence, and I'm thinking, geez, that's short.
I know. Compared to Warwick, everything's short.
Hard hit ball to second. Minnie gets the force at second to first, not in time. Bang, bang play at first, but Landis able to beat it out. London, the other thing you notice on this infield, it is hard. So you're going to get some true hops, almost like playing on turf. And we're going to have a courtesy runner here for Landis. Chloe Rodriguez will run for Landis. Chloe Diener is the batter, third baseman. Diener hitting at .562. Leads the team in base hits and triples, runs batted in. Just what you want out of your cleanup hitter. So Hempfield runner at first with 2 outs. First pitch fouled off on the right side. Warwick won the season series against the Black Knights 2-1. Pitch is upstairs, a snap throw down to first. Count even at 1-1. Shack back in the circle, and it's fouled back to the screen. That first meeting was back on April the 5th. That game was at Warwick, and Warriors won that one 11-2. It was a big 7-run fourth inning that blew that game open. This one pop up right behind us. Ball and 2 strikes. The best game was the second game of the series, a game that went extra innings, Hempfield winning it in walk-off fashion.
I feel like today's matchup could go either way. I mean, both teams right now, they're just going to have to hit the pitches that are thrown to them.
Right field, Kenzie Ellis makes the play to end the inning for the Black Knights. They pick up a single in the first, but that runner's left stranded at the end of 1. No score, Warwick and Hempfield. Back at Hempfield, second inning in our District 3 6A quarterfinal matchup between Hempfield and Warwick. The winner here goes on to face the winner of top-seeded Cumberland Valley or 9th-seeded Central York. Sam Shack starting it off with a ball.
It almost looked like she went on that one, actually.
That's what I thought.
That was pretty close.
They say she held up.
Yeah, no, I think she did, but it was definitely close.
Shack hitting at .420 on the season. Swings at that one and got a piece of it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Shack earlier this season, picking up her 100th career hit. This one's fouled off. You know, Ernst has been pretty consistent as far as that velocity is concerned.
Yeah, she's been hitting 63 to 65 pretty consistently, and then throwing in her changeup more, which, like I said, that's going to be so important, especially with these hitters. Like, if they expect that and they know what's coming, it's going to be a lot easier for them to square something up. But if they don't, it's harder.
And that one takes a hop on Diener, and it goes off her shin, and Sam Shack will be on. So she is a leadoff base runner. That'll be an error charged to Diener.
And just like you were saying earlier, this field that they're playing on right now, I mean, it's super hard. So it's going to make those big hops like that, but especially looks like there's some divots and stuff out there too. For both teams, it's going to be hard to kind of read.
Brings to the plate Emerson Overly. Drops a bunt and fouls it off. Well, the 2 Warwick wins were big victories, 11-2 and 14-4. But that middle game in which Hempfield won it in extra innings, boy, both pitchers were on that afternoon.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of times it does come down to like pitching duels. Like,
yeah.
I mean, for both teams right now, like both hitting lineups are very strong. But when you have good pitchers on both sides, it makes the games very interesting.
Well, that ball got away from Landis, and that enables Sam Shack to take second base. In that matchup, Carly Ernst only gave up 3 hits for Hempfield. She struck out 12, didn't walk a batter. Kate Schock only gave up 5 hits. She struck out 13. 1-1, and the bunt is popped foul back to the screen, so it's a ball and 2 strikes on Overly. With Shack at second, nobody out here in the top of the second inning.
I do think that's one thing that Warwick does really well is utilize that small ball, especially with a field that's hard and, you know, when people aren't used to it as much. I feel like small ball isn't used as much as it used to be, but Long does a really good job of kind of mixing in those bunts and trying different things.
That pitch just a little up out of the strike zone. Count even at 2-2. Overly hitting .295 on the season. Down and away, got her. First strikeout of the ball game for Carly Ernst. First out here in the second inning.
That was a great spot by Carly, too. It was a little bit on the outside part of the corner, but it was moving away from the batter. And low in the zone and 64 miles per hour is very hard to adjust to.
And you can see that. A great shot from center field. You can see the pitch start to tail away. So with 1 down in the inning, it brings up Cece Sanchez. Sanchez hitting at .282. Gets the outside corner. Good location there by Ernst. And she's in front. No balls, 2 strikes.
And she's really using both sides of the plate, too, and her off speed. So I know most of the time pitchers kind of tend to shift to one side of the other plate, but for her today, she's using both sides.
A little check swing and a nice play by Lily Ashton as she held that for a split second just to keep Shack at second base and had time to throw out Sanchez for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, that's really huge, especially when you have, you know, Marley Martin and Nolt coming up too. I mean, they've both been on fire with their at-bats recently too, so if you can keep that runner, you know, away from third base as much as possible, it's going to help.
Marley Martin takes the first pitch for a ball.
I thought that was a strike too. That looks like it caught the bottom part of the corner, but I'm also a pitcher, so I can't say.
Oh, okay.
I definitely have a pitcher's zone.
Expanded?
A little bit.
2-0 on Martin. Hitting at .212 on the season. I think we've got an equipment issue here for Avery Landis. I think she's got some blood, so she's got to get a Band-Aid. So here we are with 2 balls and no strikes on Marley Martin with 2 outs in the top of the second. Sam Shack at second base. No score in this District 3 6A quarterfinal. A lot going on here today.
Yeah, Sam looks like she's stretching out there on second base. She's getting ready to run home.
Sure, why not? Manheim Township, they're playing this afternoon. That was a big win for the Blue Streaks, knocking off 6-seeded Wilson in a thriller. That was 9, 8, and 8 innings. They're taking on Central Dauphin this afternoon. 2-0 pitch. He said he got the outside corner, so it's 2-1.
See, that one I would have called a ball. It looked like it was a little bit outside, a little bit higher, but you know, that could be his zone. His zone might be a little bit higher up, which is fine. All umpires have different zones.
2-1, grounded foul up the first baseline, and you're right. I mean, umpires have different zones, and of course these are umpires being out of the mid-pen. First time both schools will have worked with mid-pen officials.
That's nice though, because then no one really knows what to expect. It's not like they've seen, you know, one pitcher more than the other. It's very fair and even.
Count holding at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Should Martin get on, Brooklyn Nolt is up next. Riser goes high, so the count now at 3-2. First time this afternoon. Ernst has pitched into a full count. The 3-2. Swing and a miss. Note down on strikes. Carly Ernst picks up 2 strikeouts in the inning. Sam Shack stranded at second at the end of 1.5. Warwick nothing, Hempfield nothing. Top of the second inning, Callie Pfeiffer leading things off for Hempfield at a ball and a strike, or now a ball and a strike as she fouls it up over the screen behind us. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Callie Pfeiffer came up with the big hit against Warwick. And this one's fouled off on the right side. 1 ball, 2 strikes in that second meeting of the season. That was on April 22nd. A 1-out solo home run that tied the game at 1. It sent it to extra innings, and there's a line shot down the left field line. It's gone for a home run. Well, that wasted no time in leaving the yard. A solo blast for Callie Pfeiffer, and the Black Knights take a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, it was 67 off the bat and a nice line drive over the fence. I honestly didn't know if it was going to go over, but that one came off the bat very hard, and Kate missed her spot a little bit. It was right down the middle, it looked like. So for 0-2, that's a rough pitch to throw, but Callie was looking for it, and she was all over it.
So the solo blast for Pfeiffer gives the Black Knights a 1-0 lead. 5th home run of the season for Pfeiffer. And the first pitch to Sydney Weaver on the corner for a strike. Weaver, another one of the Black Knight pitchers. The pitch fouled back to the screen. So Shack out in front, no balls, 2 strikes. Weaver hitting .371, takes that pitch high for a ball.
The energy right now for Hempfield is very high.
Yep.
This whole game, though, I mean, they really have been just in it the whole way.
Tap her back to the circle, and helps when you're on the taller side as Kate Shack reaches up and snags that one for an easy 1-3 and the first out of the inning.
That was a great pitch. I mean, you know, for both sides, both teams are really aggressive at the plate. But I think for Kate, especially, you know, with these hitters, seeing her multiple times now, living outside the plate and kind of staying off the plate. Like, that pitch was low and outside and kind of in the other batter's box. So if you can stay in those spots, they're going to swing at those pitches.
And you said on that home run ball, she just left it out over the middle of the plate. And
yeah, it was like middle. So that's a very dangerous area for whenever, but especially 0-2, you know, they're looking for those missed pitches, and they're going to attack.
So 1 down in the inning. First pitch to Emma McPherson is good for a strike, 0-1. McPherson hitting .245. Yeah, right back at us.
I was going to say, that one was coming for you.
I have all the faith in the world in the fence. More faith in the fence than I do my hands, that's for sure. 0-2 on the outside corner. No. Shack was all excited thinking that was the 3rd out of the inning. It's the 2nd. And that is career strikeout number 300 for Kate Shack.
And that's a great spot. That's exactly what I was saying earlier. A little bit off the plate, and, you know, especially if he's going to give that, I would live there.
Brings up Dulcie Whitcraft, the right fielder. Quickly in the hole, no balls, 2 strikes. That one's up and in.
Yeah, it looks like that home run kind of got her into gear a little bit. She's throwing a little bit harder, moving the ball around a little bit more. She looks good out there.
Whitcraft drops it in for a base hit into left field. For Whitcraft, her first hit of the season as she was splitting time out in right field, and third hit of the ball game for the Black Knights.
That pitch was in a good spot too. She just got her hands in nice and did exactly. She didn't try to do too much. She just tried to, get into play, and that's all you need to do.
So Whitcraft, a 2-out base runner. Alex Gregory, the second baseman, takes the first pitch for a strike. Gregory hitting at .345 on the year. Ground ball slowly hit. Minnie will tag out Whitcraft to end the inning. But the Black Knights are on the board first. Solo home run from Callie Pfeiffer. At the end of 2, Hempfield 1, Warwick nothing. Third inning softball here in Landisville, 1-0. Hempfield, Brooklyn Nolt, Kenzie Ellis, and Katie Heisey for the Warriors here in the third. The first pitch swinging, Nolt fouls it out of play. And I'm going to go back. You were talking about the spin rate. Is that based on the grip? How do you get that spin rate to be in the 1,000?
Yeah, so I mean, it's just kind of based on how much you use your wrists and fingers to really move the ball. So sometimes pitchers tend to have more of like a shoving kind of release, where when they come through, they kind of stop their motion. And some really use their wrists and fingers, and it's called like an arm whip. So the more you use your arm whip and the more you get into that slot, the more that ball is going to kind of move. And it's going to take pressure off your shoulder too, because as soon as you muscle it, it's going to take away the spin, but also give you some pain.
So it's got pluses and minuses.
Definitely.
That pitch upstairs, 1 ball, 2 strikes. But, again, when you're talking about pitching, that's going to happen. When you have that same, delivery all the time, there's going to be some wear and tear.
Definitely, yes. And especially because for softball, there's no really like actual pitch count. I mean, there should be, but it kind of just goes off of how you're feeling and how your arm's doing. So, you could pitch multiple games in a day if you really wanted to. So,
oof.
Yes. And I've had to do that many times. I'm sure these girls have had to do that many times too. So.
Well, good pitch there, and like an earlier strikeout, that ball tailed away.
Yeah, no, that was a great spot too, and she was up with 2 strikes, so that's exactly what you have to do. The first strike you want to get kind of over the plate, over the edges, but once you get deeper in the count, you want to kind of move off the plate or move, either higher or lower in the zone, but you want to get away from the strike zone.
It's the third strikeout, and Ellis drops down a bunt, fielded, and nice play on a difficult play because Alex Gregory had to reach into the baseline to make that catch and just got Kenzie Ellis.
Yeah, it's always a dangerous play. I mean, when your glove gets in the base path and you're running right into it and it's kind of fighting your shoulder a little bit, that's always scary. But she did a good job of holding on to it and not getting knocked over, too.
So 2 down in the inning. Katie Heisey fouls off the first pitch. It's no balls and 1 strike. Yeah, I asked Coach Landis, Hempfield had a lapse since losing in the league playoffs. I said, was this a good thing, a bad thing? He said, well, you know what? We went back, just kind of worked on fundamentals, worked on some basics. They had a scrimmage against Manheim Central. They had graduation last night at Hempfield. So there were a lot of things that the girls were able to focus on and, kind of just hit the reset button. And right now it's paying dividends with a 1-0 lead.
Sometimes that's nice too when you're able to kind of reset, especially during the season. Not a lot of coaches allow you to do that, but if you can take that second and just go back to basics, really focus on those fundamentals, like that's how you play softball anyway. So if you can find that again, it's a lot easier to make those adjustments mid-game.
He did say if they would have won, you want to keep going, you want that momentum, but with the loss, kind of clear your mind and you said go back and work on some fundamentals, hit the reset, and get ready for the districts. And of course they had the bye, and that pitch swung on and missed, gets away, and Heisey will get first base. So an extended inning here for the Warriors. Ernst picks up her 4th strikeout, but Heisey takes first base. I'm not sure if that would be a wild pitch or a pass ball. I'd have to look at it again.
I think I'd consider it pass ball. It doesn't look like it hit the ground necessarily. It was going there, but it was definitely lower in the zone. I just think it, with the swing and everything too, it definitely got a little funky looking.
So can the Warriors take advantage of this extended inning? And Bella Smithson takes the first pitch low for a ball.
I think this is the person you want up in order to try and do that too. I think Bella's in a good spot right now to take advantage of that.
This ball lifted into left center field, drops in. Heisey takes third base. And Bella Smithson with her first hit of the afternoon. And Warwick runners are at first and third with 2 outs.
Again, in a good spot. I mean, it was up and out of the zone and even on the inside part of the plate, but Bella does a great job of getting her hands up and in and just, again, didn't try to do anything too crazy with that pitch, but drove it exactly where she needed to.
Yeah, that pitch was way up. It might have been actually out of the strike zone.
It was.
High hopper to second, fielded by Gregory, and throws out Minnie. And Hempfield works out of a jam. No runs, 1 hit, 2 runners left on base. Hempfield bats in the home third with a 1-0 lead. Good crowd on hand here in Landisville. In this District 3 6A quarterfinal matchup between Hempfield and Warwick. Alex Gregory, Carly Ernst, Lily Ashton for the Black Knights here in the third. First pitch swinging, lifted foul territory, and boy, Shaq and Minnie were both going for it, and I thought Minnie was going to call her off. Maybe she did, and just some miscommunication, and it falls in for a foul ball.
Yeah, it was definitely in a tough spot, but it looked like either one of them, it looked like they were going to get it.
That's a more difficult play for Shaq as she's going straight back. Minnie kind of going in on an angle. And this one fouled off on the right side. No balls, 2 strikes on Alex Gregory. Gregory hitting it, or I'm sorry, it's Ernst, that's right. Fouls it off. No balls, 2 strikes. Oh, 2 again. She's living on an outside corner.
Yeah, she definitely is, and I know that that's that's definitely her pitch, is outside and kind of off the plate a little bit and also up in the zone. But, I mean, exactly what I was talking about earlier, if you're expecting that, you know what they're throwing, you know, their swing's going to be there to kind of foul it off and really know what you're going to throw.
And waste the pitch high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. It'll be interesting to see if she continues to live on that outside. Popped up. And is there interference? Yes, it's going to be interference. Well, now they're going to talk about it because Ernst and Smithson were both running after the ball. Not running after the ball, running up the baseline side by side.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen that before.
They're going to call interference on Carly Ernst.
That's interesting, though, too, because she was in the base path. So you'd think that she'd have the right to that.
Well, she
was out, yeah.
Kind of took that, kind of peeled to the inside of the baseline. All right. So catcher's interference, and it's quickly no balls and 2 strikes on Lily Ashton. Line shot and a base hit into right field. Ashton with her second hit of the ball game.
And up to bat, number 5.
She has such a nice, easy swing. She doesn't try and overpower it at all, but she puts it right through the holes. That's what she's so good at that. She just throws her hands and doesn't try and overpower it, but it goes exactly where it needs to.
Fourth hit of the afternoon for the Black Knights. First pitch to Landis outside for ball 1. Fly ball center field. Emerson Overly camps under it, makes the catch for out number 2.
And up for Hempfield,
2 down brings up the cleanup hitter Chloe Diener. Diener with a fly out to right, her first time up. I can honestly say that's the first time I've seen batter interference.
I know, I
on a
really
play.
don't think, unless it's like in the base paths on the field, like running from first to second or second to third. But other than that, that's about, I don't think I've ever seen runners interference with a catcher. Maybe at home, maybe if there's a play at home.
Ground ball to second, Minnie fields and fires to first to end the inning. No runs, a hit, a runner left on base. Through 3 in this District 3 6A quarterfinal. Hempfield 1, Warwick nothing.
And
Top of the 4th, 1-0 Hempfield. Amanda Herr, Eric May with you from Hempfield, and our thanks again to Big Time Softball and their services, getting us a view from behind the plate as far as velocity and spin rate. And there's a base hit into right field for Shack. They're going to try a throw at first base, but Shack beats it out, and she's on for the second time this afternoon. So third time this afternoon, Warwick's had their leadoff batter on base. Right now they've been unable to scratch a run across. Carly Ernst has gotten tough once Warwick gets on base. First pitch up high, ball 1 to Emerson Overly. Went down on strikes, her first time up.
It looks like Hempfield has like a bunt defense going on. The infield looks like they're in a little bit, and second base is back. So I wonder if they're expecting that small ball piece I was talking about earlier.
Well, no sign yet from Overly that that's what she wants to do. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That was a very generous strike, too. I must say, a little bit outside.
This one's tapped foul.
But if he's given that, though, I mean, that's exactly where you should throw it, because no one's going to really do anything with that pitch if it's a couple inches off the plate. But it looked like that one landed on the chalk. So that's definitely hard to square up.
The 1-2 goes up and in. Yeah, both pitchers, and again, with the familiarity of your opponent, they know that they've got to stay away from the heart of that strike zone. Both teams with the capability of really raking the ball. Count remains even at 2-2.
At this age, too, and I mean, especially with this caliber of players, like if you miss over the plate, I mean, you might get lucky every once in a while, but especially as you get older in travel ball and even in college, like, you know, those missed pitches are going to go a long way. They're going to attack those.
There's a line shot, and the base hit the left field. And Warwick has their first 2 runners on here in the 4th inning.
And up next to bat, number 1.
4th hit of the afternoon for the Warriors. And brings up Cece Sanchez. Sanchez grounded out to short. Her first time around. So second consecutive inning now. Warwick's had 2 base runners on. First pitch on the outside corner, 0-1.
That was a good call. I liked that one.
Look good from here, too.
I was going to say, it's nice having all this technology for big time softball because you can really see, like, it tells you exactly where it is. So there's, like, no cheating anymore.
She tries to go back again on the second pitch, and that one missed just a bit outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
There's a big gap out there in the left center field.
Sanchez swings over that one. It's 1-2. Sam Shack at second. Emerson Overly at first. Nobody out here in the top of the 4th. Foul tip, and did Landis hold on? And they say yes. Now let's see. Let's look at the replay. Did it go into the dirt? That's what Coach Long is saying.
It sounded like it did. She kind of trapped it on the dirt a little bit.
Watch how quickly Landis picks the ball up then, too, to show, yeah, I got it. So it will go down as a strikeout. The 5th for Ernst. And the pitch over for a strike to Marley Martin.
Something really cool about this BTS equipment is the extension. That's one of the numbers that it gives you is the extension. And right now, her extension, which is basically when she pushes off the mound and kind of lands, like how far off the mound is she getting? So she averages between 6 feet and 6.5 feet. So that means that she's coming in 6.5 feet closer to the batter before she releases the pitch. So it's coming in, you know, 63 to 65 miles per hour, but it's even faster because she's getting so close to them too.
And what that equates to is a lot less reaction time.
Definitely, yeah, because you're throwing it then by like around 39 feet then instead of 43-ish.
And I think you're seeing it because right now the strike zone that's being called, she's living on that outside part of the plate, and she gets back-to-back strikeouts.
And up next, number 4.
On Sanchez and Martin, and now 2 outs in the inning, and here's Brooklyn Nolt. Nolt went down on strikes her first time up. That one's inside. So Ernst mixes it up on that pitch, but it looks like she's consistently working that outside part of the plate.
Yeah, she's very in her zone right now too, which I know, you know, as a pitcher, you kind of find that zone, you live in that zone, but right now she's throwing outside, high, inside, low pitches, and she's also working in her off-speed, which you don't see a lot from Ernst. So I'm glad that right now she's really using it against this Warwick lineup because, again, they've seen her a lot of times now, especially since she's a senior too.
2-0 pitch, tapper to third, Chloe Diener. Throw to first, is not in time, and then Sam Shack keeps on coming and comes in to score to tie the ball game at 1. Well, it took a high hop, and then Diener really almost on the third baseline, having to throw across the diamond. And you can see McPherson just unable to hold on to the ball coming up out of the dirt. So we've got a tie ball game at 1, and Warwick runners at first and second with 2 outs. And Coach Chris Landis wants to meet in the circle. Well, it appeared that Ernst got the ground ball that she needed, but a long throw across the diamond, and I don't know if we could see it one more time, but if McPherson is able to hold on to the ball, is it still in time to get Nolt?
Yeah, it looked like it was a little bit of a slower hit ground ball, which, I mean, it worked out in Warwick's favor, but because there were 2 people on too, first and second, you know, she could have just stepped on third as well. So that.
Wow, extremely close play there at first.
Close. I think she would have got her though if she held on to it, but I think because Emma lost the ball a little bit, which it was a low throw though too.
So Kenzie Ellis at the plate. And an infield single her first time up. Warwick with a run across and runners at first and second. That pitch is outside for ball 1. The 1-1 goes upstairs, 2-1. Warwick's tied it here in the fourth. Two and two. Another one on that outside part of the plate.
Yeah, it's definitely her zone. I know that when teams are practicing to hit against her too, that's all they want to see is kind of outside and high. So that's why I keep talking about how much I'm happy to see that she's using the entire zone rather than just staying there. Because if they're expecting that, especially if you're a good hitter too, which Warwick has plenty of those, but if you're expecting those pitches, especially with how hard she throws, it's a lot easier to square up.
Popped up, foul territory. That's going to get out of play. All right, so the question is, she's got the wristband on. Do you think you think that's a scouting report, or is that scenarios as, okay, it's a 2-2 count, it's a 1-2 count, this is the pitch I want to throw?
So they call out numbers. So we actually use this in college. They call out numbers of what pitch that you're going to throw. So it's kind of like a coordinate grid type thing. And every little, like, say it's 1-1, and you look in that box and it says curveball. And then if it's like 23, right, you go to that box and it says changeup or whatever it is. So it's kind of so that the other team can't really pick off your pitches. So it is nice, but I think the biggest thing that I found when I was using it is I would kind of read it a lot faster, especially with being a teacher. I could find that spot faster than some of my other players, who would throw off the timing a little bit. So
2-2 off the end of the bat on the right side. Gregory to first in time to get Ellis and end the inning. But the Warriors tie it up with a run in the fourth. Bottom of the fourth in Landisville, Warwick and Hempfield tied at 1. Callie Pfeiffer leading things off for the Black Knights. Takes her first pitch outside for ball 1. Pfeiffer with the lone Hempfield run, a line drive home run to left field back in the second inning. And now Shack trying to live on that outside corner as well, and it's 2-0. Shack will walk her on 4 pitches. First walk allowed by Shack this afternoon.
I don't think that's a bad call, though, especially since Callie was the only one that scored their only run. So I think, putting her on, giving her kind of a base rather than pitching to her, too, it might work out in the end.
Sydney Weaver, designated player, takes the first pitch for a strike. Grounded back to the circle her first time up. Bunt, and it rolls foul toward the Hempfield dugout. Each team with 4 hits this afternoon. That one goes upstairs high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Or 1 ball, 2 strikes. To second. Minnie flips a short one, throw to first, and the throw and pulls Sam Shack off the bag. She tried to stretch, and on the stretch, foot came off the bag. But they will get the lead runner at second for the first out.
It looked like she had her foot on the bag first, but maybe from that angle it did look like she came off a little bit. I think they would have got her, though. If her foot was on, I think they would have got her.
Yep. So with 1 down, brings up Emma McPherson. McPherson called out on strikes her first time up. It was a little bit high, 2-0. That one seemed to have some pretty good velocity on it.
I was going to say, yeah, the last one and this one was 57 and 56.4, so she's definitely, as the game progresses, she's getting some good speed.
2-1, fouled straight back. Now, do you work with Kate Shack as well?
I do not, but I have a couple pitchers that are in the LL League a little bit.
This one in foul territory and falls harmlessly, so the count holds at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, you think about it, though, that just a sophomore, some of the things that she'll be able to accomplish here in the next couple of years. And she gets McPherson swinging for the second strikeout of the ball game.
And up next for Hempfield, number 18, Dulcie Whitcraft.
That was a great spot. Great pitch, great spot.
Dulcie Whitcraft, a single her first time up. Sydney Weaver's at first base with 2 outs. And Kate Schock she's chomping at the bit. She's waiting for her to get back in the box. This one's fouled away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yeah, I said it the other night too. It's almost as if Schock really gets settled in and gets stronger as the game goes on.
Yeah, I think when I used to pitch for high school, at least, my first inning was always the rockiest. I kind of was just, trying to figure out the umpire zone, trying to figure out the other team and everything. But as the game went on, it was kind of the same thing. You start to get into your groove, you find your pace and everything. And I think right now, Kate's really doing a great job of, staying in her routine, getting in her rhythm, and the pitcher controls the speed of the game. So when you can kind of find that rhythm, it keeps everyone, in line.
That pop-up handled by Sam Shack to end the inning. No runs, no hits, 1 left on base. 4 in the books here in Landisville. Warwick and Hempfield tied at 1. Katie Heisey starting things off for Warwick. Takes the first pitch outside for a ball. She's been on base twice, reached on a fielder's choice, and then struck out, but got first base when the ball eluded catcher Avery Landis. There's a shot into right center field. That's going to get by Pfeiffer into center. And Katie Heisey will coast into second base with a leadoff double.
And up next, number 22.
Yeah, that pitch landed a little bit over the middle of the plate again, but like I was saying earlier, if you missed your spot, these hitters are good enough. They're going to take advantage of that, and they're going to drive it somewhere hard, and that's exactly what she did.
For Heisey, she picks up her 11th double of the season. And she's in scoring position for Bella Smithson. First pitch swinging, taps it down, and that's going to go foul. Just wide of third base. Smithson 1 for 2, singled her last time up. So the heart of the order here for the Warriors. And Heisey starts it off with that leadoff double. Well, wanted to see if that home plate umpire would expand that strike zone a little bit.
I was thinking that. There's been a couple times where he's given that spot for both sides.
The 1-1, well, that's outside as well, 2-1. And obviously if you're Ernst, you know who's at bat here, and you don't want to leave it too much over the plate.
Yeah, especially with Bella, too. I mean, she's an aggressive batter, so she's going to swing at things outside of the zone as well.
She goes down low to go after this one. A nice running grab in center field by Pfeiffer. Boy, that saved an extra bases hit, and it keeps Heisey at second base.
Yeah, that was low in the zone, too. Ernst did a great job of getting that pitch down in the zone, and Bella honestly had a really hard hit off of that, but Callie made a great play out in center field. Pushing off the fence, too, I would have made a scene. Laying down.
I mean, see how low that pitch was? It was like Smithson hit it off a tee. pitch fouled at the plate by Madison Minnie. No balls and a strike. Boy, remember that play because that saved a run for the Black Knights. Minnie 0 for 2 on the afternoon. Ernst out in front, 0-2.
Yeah, that drop ball is working really well for her today, and a lot of people are swinging at that. And I think, you know, it's thrown Warwick off guard a little bit just because they've been practicing that outside and high pitches. They haven't really focused on that lower part of the zone. So Ernst is doing a good job of attacking that lower half.
So Ernst in the driver's seat right now at 0-2. 1 out, Heisey at second base. Swung on and missed, went inside on her and gets the strikeout. That is number 7 on the afternoon for Carly Ernst.
Again, really great spot, especially when they're thinking low outside or even just lower in the zone and you bust in on the hands with a screwball. That's a really good pitch.
That one came in at 63?
Yeah.
That looked like an off-speed pitch.
Yeah. Yeah, it's coming in hard, especially it was breaking in a little bit too on your hand, so it's not just like a straight fastball. It's coming in and getting even closer to you as you're swinging. So that was a perfect spot, especially for 2 strikes.
So with 2 down, Ernst trying to get out of the inning. And first pitch down and in, ball 1. This is the 4th inning in a row that Warwick has had a runner at second base, trying to find a key hit, and that one's fouled off. 1 ball, 1 strike. There was just an absolute hit parade on Monday night when they knocked out Red Lion. But this game taking on the scenario of that second meeting when both pitchers were really in on their game. Shack able to hold up on the swing. Ball goes in the dirt. It's 2-1.
That was a great stop by Avery. That could have, Heisey easily could have advanced to third base on that if that got past.
Two and one on Sam Shack. Gets the outside corner.
There it is. There, that's the one we were waiting for. Just a bit outside. But it's consistent. He's been calling it pretty much the whole day, so for both sides.
2-2 and a shot into right center field. That is going to go to the fence. Sam Shack with an RBI double. And the Warriors take a 2-1 lead.
Sam did a great job of driving that. And I know she's talked to me before about low outside is where she struggles with, but she did not struggle at all with that pitch. She really threw her hands out and drove it.
For Sam Shack, that is double number 6 on the season. And the first pitch down low for a ball throw to third, and Diener had the tag on Shack, and then the ball popped out. And that's not going to feel good, too, on this hard surface.
Yeah,
But
definitely
Shack is
not.
in safely.
And she was already stretching on there on second base the first time, so I'm sure she's feeling it extra now.
So now Shack in scoring now at third base, and a ball and no strikes on Overly, and there's that outside corner to even the count at 1-1. Just a bit low. 2-1. Popped up, shallow center. Pfeiffer there to make the catch and end the inning. But the Warriors take the lead in the 5th, 32nd RBI of the season for Sam Shack. 2-1 Warwick. Hempfield bats in the home 5th. It's been a pitcher's game here this afternoon. There's the first run of the ball game, a solo home run from Callie Pfeiffer. But what an afternoon. Carly Ernst, a couple of miscues defensively for the Black Knights. They've been able to capitalize, and then Sam Shack with the big play, the double. And on our back to live action,
99, Alex Gregory up next to plate number 26, Carly.
Alex Gregory grounding out for the first out of the inning. Here you see the bunt attempt, and Shack on it quickly.
Yeah, Sam made a great play on that. Those are hard. That's exactly where you want to lay down a bunt too.
Carly Ernst, backhanded, nice play by Sam Shack. Takes a base hit away from Carly Ernst, and that is the second out of the inning, and quickly 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Well, Sam Shack's doing it at the glove and at the plate this afternoon for Warwick. Lily Ashton, a good afternoon, a pair of singles. That one's in the dirt, 2-0. Thinking to myself, boy, how big is that for Warwick? They get a quick inning. It wasn't a long inning when they were at the plate in the top of the 5th, but you know, you put the pressure on Hempfield, and it really changes the tune of this game.
Oh, definitely. Especially after a big inning, too, of hitting. I mean, you're coming in off of that high, and then if you get out of it quickly, too, I mean, it's definitely a great momentum shift in their favor.
That's the second walk allowed by Kate Shack this afternoon. Avery Landis 0 for 2 on the day.
He doesn't like those lower pitches.
I liked it.
I did too. I definitely did too.
Ball and no strikes. And the off-speed pitch hits Landis. So Hempfield runners now at first and second with 2 outs. And here's Chloe Diener.
Sometimes if you don't throw those changeups in a while, you tend to hold on to them a little bit, and that looks like that's what she did. So, you know, those freebies though are what come back to bite you in the end. So.
Diener goes after the first pitch, lifts it into right field, and Kenzie Ellis squeezes it for the third out of the inning. So the walk and the hit batter do not hurt Kate Shack at the end of 5 in Landisville. Warwick 2, Hempfield 1. We're flying through this game. I can't believe we're top of the 6th inning already. But it's been a fast-moving ball game, a game in which the pitchers have really been able to find the strike zone. 2-1 Warwick lead. Cece Sanchez, Marley Martin, and Brooklyn Nolt for Warwick. And the winner gets qualification for states. And then also will face either Cumberland Valley, who is the top seed, or Central York. First pitch to Sanchez up high for ball 1. The only way either Hempfield or Warwick would be at home is if Central York would be able to knock off Cumberland Valley. The Central York is the number 9 seed, Hempfield number 4, Warwick number 5. Two balls, no strikes. Sanchez 0 for 2 on the day. Takes that one low, it's 3-0. Ernst yet to issue a walk this afternoon. She's registered 7 strikeouts. And Sanchez bluffing at a bunt, but taking the whole way. It's now 3-1. That one bounces up there, so Sanchez is a leadoff base runner.
And up next to bat is number
First
3,
walk,
Marley
as I mentioned, allowed by Ernst this afternoon.
Yeah, Cece did a good job of taking a lot of close pitches. I mean, the first 2 or 3 balls that she had on her were all around the zone, but she was very disciplined at the plate, which is important.
And Martin fouls off a bunt attempt. It's 0-1. So this is now 5 out of the 6 innings this afternoon that Warwick has gotten their leadoff batter on base. And again, that's just putting pressure on the Hempfield defense. Fly ball left field. Beck going back is able to make the catch for the first out. Yeah, from this angle, that fence looks so short at 190 feet. Because we're so used to seeing Warwick at 215.
Honestly, where she caught that is probably where you play at the Warwick field. Like, that's like normal left field area.
Now, it's not 215 the whole way around, right? It's
no,
deeper in center.
230 to center, 215 at the corners. So, yeah, regulation's 190 at the corners, and I think 200 to center, but usually it's a little bit more. But yeah.
And you busted the number sign.
I did. Yeah, I'm sure if Mark Hope's listening, my old high school Warwick coach, I accidentally hit a line drive into the the number sign in center field that says 230, and it's still hanging on the fence in like little pieces.
In practice or in a game?
It was practice. It was off of him for front toss.
Oh, okay. Funny, he didn't mention that in the game he worked with us.
Honestly, it's covered up, though, so that's probably why they don't even know it's there. But I know it's there because I walked out kind of recently just to see if it was still there. But that was many years ago now because I graduated in 2018, so that's been a little while now.
A ball and 2 strikes on Brooklyn Nolt. Which goes up on a high one there and fouls it back. Nolt stays alive at 1-2. Officially 0 for 2, although she reached on an error her last time up. And there's Ernst living on that outside part of the plate again, and Nolt can't catch up with it. That is strikeout number 8 and the second out of the inning.
Yeah, that pitch was way out of the zone, but I mean, it came in and it was moving out, so it's hard as a batter to really recognize that, especially by the time it's moving. You already made up your mind if you're swinging or not. So it's hard for Nolt to go down on that pitch, but for Carly Ernst, that's exactly where you want to throw it.
So in your days when you were pitching, if you found that the umpire had a little bit different zone, were you and your catcher talking between innings saying, hey, look, he's giving this to us, let's take it?
Definitely, yeah, and especially if they couldn't adjust to that pitch either.
There's a base hit into left field. Beck, a nice job to cut it off before it got to the gap, and it keeps Sanchez at second. Second hit of the ball game for Kenzie Ellis. And Warwick runners at first and second with 2 down, and Katie Heisey at the plate. 7th hit of the afternoon for Warwick. And they've been busy with base runners. But Carly Ernst, every time, has been able to work out of it. The one time she couldn't, Sam Shack hit a 2-out double last inning to give Warwick a 2-1 lead. She goes up and in, and the pitch fouled off by Heisey, 0-1. Fouled away. And so Ernst in front of Heisey, no balls and 2 strikes. Mentioned Heisey had an 8-game hit streak in the latter stages of the season. Fouls that one at the plate to stay alive. That had to be an off-speed pitch.
It was, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, low inside too. It's a dangerous spot to throw it, but I think because not a lot of people do, it's even more challenging to get.
Well, she goes down low and gets another strikeout. Carly Ernst has just worked all parts of the strike zone here this afternoon, and she strands 2 more Warwick runners. Hempfield bats in the home half of the 6th inning. 2-1 Warwick lead. Bottom half of the 6th inning. Eric May, Amanda Herr with you here at Hempfield High School in this District 3 6A quarterfinal. 2-1 Warwick lead. Callie Pfeiffer leads off and takes a strike. Good pitch down low at the knees. Pfeiffer with a solo home run in the 2nd, and she drew a walk in the 4th. And now Kate Shack gets that same outside corner as Ernst. It's 0-2.
Same exact spot.
Oh, yeah.
That's his spot, though.
He's a big spot in the ball game. Pfeiffer definitely with some pop in the bat and skies this one into center field. Overly doesn't have to move very far at all and makes the catch for the first out.
And up next is number 24, Sydney Weaver.
Here's designated player Sydney Weaver. 0 for 2, reached on a fielder's choice her last time up. Fly ball, and that's going to go foul down the right field foul line. Now Kate Shack got the first 2 outs last inning quickly, and then walked Ashton and then hit Avery Landis, but worked out of that jam and retiring Diener on a fly ball. And she's ahead in the count, 0-2 on Weaver. Has theirs been pretty consistent?
Very consistent, yeah.
In over 1,000?
Yes, definitely. That's the number that I look for the most.
Wow, outside corner painted perfectly. And Kate Shack picks up her 3rd strikeout of the afternoon.
Yeah, it's definitely his spot, and I've said this 1,000 times before, but Bella Smithson does an awesome job of framing that pitch. So especially when they're off the plate that much too, and she's able to bring it in more and make it even look more like a strike. Yeah, it's a very hard pitch for whoever's hitting.
So with 2 down, we're going to have a pinch hitter, Kiara Rodriguez will pinch hit for McPherson. Two down in the inning. First pitch up high, ball 1 to Rodriguez. Rodriguez hitting at .449. She does have a home run. 18 runs batted in, a little flare, and it is just foul over first base. My goodness, first glance you look at these uniforms, they're almost identical.
They are. When I drove in, I was like, oh, Warwick's hitting. And I got out, I'm like, no, they're not. It's like these are all Hempfield girls. I think the only thing's really that's different is their sock color.
Yeah. Swung on a miss by Rodriguez. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Jack, and that one's fouled off over the Hempfield dugout. Count remains at a ball and 2 strikes, 2 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Warwick with a 2-1 lead. Swung on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts for Kate Schock, and she's got 4 in the ball game. At the end of 6 in Landisville. Warwick 2, Hempfield 1. Now Carly Ernst out to try and keep it just a 1-run deficit, but she's going to face the heart of this Warwick lineup. Ella Smithson, Madison Minnie, and Sam Shack here in the 7th inning. Smithson 1 for 3 on the afternoon. Takes the first pitch outside for a ball. Goes after the low pitch, grounds it to second. Gregory will throw to first. Smithson retired for the first out. And brings up Madison Minnie.
And up next is number 23, Madison Minnie.
Minnie 0 for 3 on the afternoon, and right now trying to keep her 21-game hit streak alive. Tipped off the glove of Ernst. Fire to first. It's not in time. Minnie is going to be on with an infield single, and that's going to. Or did you?
I don't know. That's a tricky one because she did kind of reach up, but I think I'm a little more of a pitcher's favor maybe. So I marked it as an error, but it could go either way, I think.
Well, I'd have to see it. Can we see it again, guys, please? Because it took that hop and she had to reach up for it. Yeah.
I don't know, it is tricky.
Well, irregardless, Minnie is on with 1 out. And here is Sam Shack, who has been the player of the game here for Warwick this afternoon. Pair of hits, has the go-ahead double, and has come up with some fine plays in the field as well. Ball and no strikes on Sam Shack. Emerson Overly on deck for Warwick. Well, she pulled the string on that one.
Yeah, 51. 51, when that's coming in at, 63, 64, and you drop it down to 51, and you make it look like a fastball, it's hard to adjust to.
The 1-2 popped up right side. Is there going to be a play? Ooh! Emma McPherson popped out of her glove, and then she runs into the fence. Luckily, the fence has got some give, and McPherson is okay. And you'll see this one up close and personal.
Her arms kind of got trapped in like the fence, so I feel like she couldn't stop herself either way.
Count remains at a ball and 2 strikes. Shack fouls off another one. Well, we've seen some long at-bats, too, by Warwick here this afternoon. And on a warm afternoon, latter stages of the game, that can take a toll on you, I would imagine, here in the circle.
Definitely, yeah. Especially, I mean, both sides, I feel like there's been a lot of foul balls, and that's, you know, a lot of strikes and a lot of pitches that the pitchers are throwing. But they're also being aggressive, so they're swinging at pitches that might be a little bit outside their zone, but you're not going to get, necessarily, you're not going to get your pitch, like what you were looking for. So fouling it off, like that's exactly what you have to do. But for the pitchers, you know, that's a lot of pitches that they're throwing.
Oh, and that one goes up and in and hits Sam Shack. So each pitcher with a hit batter. And Warwick, yet again, has runners at first and second. One down in the inning, and here's Emerson Overly, 1 for 3 on the day. And I did get a ruling that is a single for Madison Minnie.
All right, I'm definitely have a pitcher's mindset for those. You would have had that one there. You had your hand up. You're all ready for that one.
Just deception. No balls and a strike to Overly. Well, how big would a run be here for Warwick? With a little bit of a cushion. Fly ball right field. Whitcraft is there to make the catch. Tagging at second is Minnie, headed for third, and she is. They ruled her safe, slid in under the tag. Well, I thought they had her dead to rights.
I was going to say, I would maybe check on that one. I don't know if they're going to or not, but she did get underneath.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
Yes, she did. A good slide by Minnie.
Perfect throw by Whitcraft, though. That's exactly what you want.
So Coach Carrie Long aggressive on the paths, now with Minnie at third base with 2 outs, and Cece Sanchez over 2 with a walk, and she fouls it back to the screen, 0-1. You know, it's a good thing the fence is here. We've had a number of foul balls come our way.
Yes, definitely. I feel like we don't normally sit this low. I mean, I know we don't sit this low normally, but we're either, if we are this low, it's down like the sides. It's not like the sides.
Yeah, we're in the direct,
not right behind.
Direct line of fire. A ball and a strike to Sanchez. Second and third for Warwick with 2 outs. Well, it sure looked like she took something off of it. Still came in at 60 miles an hour.
And sometimes that's all you need, though. You know, 3 or 4 miles per hour, that's a big difference.
Swung on and missed. Gets the strikeout and ends the inning. For Warwick in the 7th, no runs, a hit. 2 runners left on base. Hempfield bats in the home 7th. It's a 2-1 Warwick lead. So Bella Smithson out to talk to Kate Shack. Looking to get these 3 outs and move the Warriors into the semifinals. Dulcie Whitcraft starting things off. And the pitch on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. We'll call it that umpire's strike zone here this afternoon.
It's been consistent, though.
Yes, I mean, he has.
Both sides have been very consistent. It's all you can ask.
Shack quickly out in front, no balls and 2 strikes. Fly ball right field. Kenzie Ellis makes the catch. 1 down. That's the other thing, too. The fly balls that Kate Shack has been able to induce have been nice, high fly balls. Nothing real too difficult for the outfield to handle.
Yeah, and that's important, too. I mean, that means that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing as a pitcher because they're not squaring it up. But, you know, you can really tell a difference when they do square squared up versus when, they're mishitting it.
Well, Shack gets Alex Gregory on one pitch as she grounds out to Madison Minnie, and it's 2 down and the last chance here for Hempfield, and it's up to Carly Ernst. Ernst 0 for 3 on the afternoon and involved in a strange play where she was called out on batter's interference when she popped one up and collided with Bella Smithson going down the first base line. Fly ball right field. Ellis going back and makes the catch to end the inning and the ball game. And the Warwick Warriors are on to the semifinals.
And at the end of the game, with Warwick leading the score.
What an afternoon, though, pitching-wise for both pitchers. I mean, you look at the numbers for Carly Ernst. She registers 10 strikeouts, gives up a walk and a hit batter. Warwick does enough, though, to scratch out this 2-1 win.
Yeah, and sometimes, you're not going to win games if you don't hit. And both sides really did hit, but it really comes down to, who makes errors, who has more walks and everything. But pitching-wise, they both really dominated the zone. They stayed in their zones, too, which I think is important, especially with having an umpire with a bigger zone. But attacking their zone, attacking the batters, and especially when you're seeing these girls for multiple times in a row and 4 times now during a season, it's a lot. It's a lot that you have to kind of adjust when you're out there in the circle. But both teams really played a really great game.
Well, and we talk about Kate Shack and the fact that, she appears to get stronger as the game goes on. She didn't give up a base hit after the 3rd inning.
Yeah, that's really impressive. And especially, like I said 1,000 times today, but this is the 4th time they're seeing this lineup. So if you can keep it to, 0 hits and multiple innings, that's very impressive, especially as a young pitcher, too.
So for the Hempfield Black Knight, their season ends at 16-4, and the number 5 seed Warwick Warriors are on to the semifinals next Tuesday to either take on top-seeded Cumberland Valley. If Central York pulls the upset, that game will be at Warwick. So I'm sure that they'll be checking out social media on the bus ride home to see what's going on there. But this afternoon, Warwick with 2 runs, 8 hits, no errors. They left 10 runners on base. Hempfield with 1 run, 4 hits, a pair of errors, and 6 runners left on base. Our thanks again to Big Time Softball for the use of the graphics, the grid, and all the other goodies. But it is on to the semis for the Warwick Warriors. For our entire crew and Amanda Herr, I'm Eric May. Thanks for joining us. Our final once again in this District 3 6A quarterfinals. It was Warwick 2, Hempfield 1. You've been watching Lancaster Lebanon League Softball on Blue Ridge 11. Good night from Landisville.